Reacting to the most painful cartel deaths ever. Subscribe.
Peanut butter. On a calm, breezy morning in Mexico City, the day's peace would be interrupted by the disturbed screams of a man tied to a pole. But you're probably wondering how he got here in the first place.
Bro, living in Mexico or any other place that is infested with cartels is a no-go zone for me. Because, damn, you just might have like a debt of like $1,000 or even $1,000 is about 10 pesos. And they're just going to skin you alive in front of your family because you couldn't pay 10 pesos or whatever currency they use.
Earlier that month, he had been accused of committing an unthinkable crime to a local woman in the city. Word of his actions spread quickly, angering friends, families, and other locals until a notorious Mexican gang caught wind of the story. For them, justice would not wait for courts and police. They tracked the man down, ripped him out from his house, and dragged him out into the open. They grabbed his hands and bound him tightly so that escape was impossible. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the gang pulled out a tub of peanut butter and began to slather it on his...
Oh, so peanut butter on your nuts, and maybe a dog came and started to leak, and then
The man became confused, because while covering somebody in peanut butter is a pretty strange punishment, it's not necessarily painful.
yeah,
However,
it's kind of
his
pleasing.
confusion would quickly fall into dread when the men brought out two huge pit bulls. He
I guessed it, not pre-watched.
immediately realized what they were trying to do and began pleading for mercy.
Goddamn, damn. Imagine the pain, bro. The pain of your nuts just hanging there, all covered up with peanut butter, and just two pit bulls leaking. At first, it'll be so pleasing, but then after the leaking comes the
However, his cries were drowned out by the growls of the snarling dogs. When the animals were unleashed, panic surged through the alleged criminal as he screamed for help. The punishment
that's painful, man. That's a painful death, dude. That's a painful way to even die.
unfolded brutally. It was a slow spectacle of pain and humiliation. And sadly, his screams fell on deaf ears as locals pretended like nothing was happening. By the time the dogs were pulled back, the man was left broken in a way that couldn't be fixed.
Yeah, because you don't even have your nuts. Even your dick is gone. Bro, just finish me. Just finish me off, man.
Point was made clear. The gang had delivered their brand of justice and sent an unforgettable message that'll live on in the heart of Mexico City for years. Vile acts against the vulnerable in this city will not be tolerated. 49. On May 12th, 2012, a man in Cadereyta, Jimenez decided to step out of his home for a quick beverage. The evening was warm and calm. It was the kind of night when nothing...
Bro, the nuts thing kind of made me remember this one time. I was playing rugby back in high school. I remember while I was now running, it was during scrum. You see the moment where you guys scrum just for the ball, so in our high school days, those people who used to be like down there used to like throw punches. I remember some other dude was grabbed on his nuts. They were pulled. Oh my god, this was so painful. I could hear the scream, the high-pitched scream.
Nothing out of the ordinary was really expected. As the man walked along the highway, the dim lights cast long shadows across the road. Out of nowhere, the man would stumble across what sort of looked like a strange log just lying to the left of the pavement. He barely paid it any mind, stepping past it. Moments later, he saw another one, then another, with each log carrying a foul, nauseating stench that clung to the air. The smell was strong enough to stop the man from walking any further. Confused, he decided to inspect the objects. He crouched closer, squinting at the twisted shapes in the dark. What at first looked like a bunch of discarded stick bundles on the highway slowly revealed themselves as something far more horrifying than expected. The man recoiled in terror. They weren't logs. They were human bodies. 49.
Damn, 49 human bodies. Bro, and it's funny how you come across these videos of cartels saying they are recruiting new members. Have you seen those videos on your TikTok For You page? I've come across some of them where they're like recruiting people and you're like, what's happening to the other members, because now you're recruiting, meaning there's space vacancy. Bro, these people are and the funny thing is they usually do that and you will actually hear them laugh. Like it's nothing to them. Just skinning someone and then a few minutes later they're going to eat something. Maybe I'll vomit. Not even be able to bring myself to that.
Bodies.
But I feel like it's a more of it's a thing of it's a eat world. You eat me, I eat you. It's either me or them. Something like that. You get me? Or maybe brainwashed in a way.
Scattered across the road.
Or even drugs. But I don't feel like drugs can also help you to forget or be... I don't know.
They were men and women, stripped of their dignity. Each of them were missing their heads, hands, and feet.
Damn.
The music was so precise and brutal that it was nearly impossible to tell who they once were. Some of the people were stuffed into plastic bags, and others dumped carelessly onto the roadside. The man's breath quickened as...
So, they just took their heads, their hands, their legs. What for? Maybe cooking them for soup. You know, these people are crazy.
His mind struggled to process the scale of what he was seeing. A sense of dread swept over him as he realized he had stumbled upon a... In that moment, the silence of the night felt oppressive. The road transformed into a grotesque stage of terror. Later, authorities would confirm what many feared. This was the work of Los Zetas, one of Mexico's most violent cartels. The bodies were left as a chilling message in an ongoing war for control of smuggling routes into the United States. By dawn, the site was swarmed with police and soldiers with their flashlights cutting through the dark as they documented the carnage. Officials were able to arrest the perpetrator of the tragedy, Daniel Jesus Elizondo Ramirez, more formally known as El Loco. This is just one of many atrocities that happen in Mexico because of wars like these. And if there's one thing that's true about these conflicts, it's that the innocents will always be the ones who have to pay.
But I don't understand. If you're sending a message to the other cartels to not interfere with your things, doesn't it make more sense killing those cartels and using their bodies instead of just innocent people who don't have anything, even they don't even have an idea of what you guys are doing? Why kill the innocent people? Why not go for the other members, the rivals? And you get me? I don't know. Please don't come for me. I'm just reacting. I'm just joking.
May their souls
just joking.
Rest in peace.
Damn.
The Ghost Rider incident. The CJNG is one of the most powerful and...
Bro, I've seen this gang. They have military grade weapons. Damn. Bro, whoever finances this, sheesh.
This cartel
looks like a battle. It's like a Battlefield 6 in a way.
In Mexican history, the United Cartels is a coalition that was formed in opposition to their control. And on a sweltering afternoon deep in cartel territory, a notorious man known as the Ghost Rider, in allegiance with the United Cartels, would find himself in the grip of one of Mexico's most feared criminal organizations. You see, Ghost Rider got his peculiar name from his horrific reputation. He was known for setting his victims ablaze and leaving them out in the open to be discovered. However, now that he was captured and surrounded by the CJNG, his fate became sealed.
Damn, imagine dying with the same method you used to kill other people. Call that karma.
Long before cameras even started rolling. This cartel was not content with simply eliminating a rival. They wanted to carve a message into the eyes of each and every one of their enemies. And in their eyes, Ghost Rider's nickname provided the perfect stage for humiliation. The camera steadied on him as members of the cartel mocked the moniker he had carried. And then with a
I don't know why I'm laughing, but damn.
calm and chilling demeanor, they doused his face in accelerant and struck a flame. What followed was a spectacle designed not just...
Damn. Your whole face just on fire. Oh, it goes with the name, Ghost Rider. Oh, goddamn. That must be the most... Is it the most painful according to this? I believe so. Because imagine your face on fire. It's more painful if you consider the degrees and the burns. Considering the other, where you're just... Dogs are just eating your nuts. Oh my god. Which one is more painful? I don't know.
Just to eliminate, but to terrify. The man's face ignited in an instant. Flames began dancing across his skin, consuming the man's head until it became unrecognizable. Bound and helpless, his muffled cries pierced the silence as the cartel stood by, watching. The man
And you know the thing is, they will go home and sleep like they did. Oh my god, how is that even possible?
longer see, and his head now resembled nothing but a skull. But horrifically enough, he was still screaming.
This is the most painful because you're still alive. Still alive, so you can actually feel every single nerve in your skin just. Ooh.
This terrible sight, paired with his nickname that once gave him power in the criminal underworld, had been twisted into a cruel, barbaric joke. The man had literally become the Ghost Rider, just in a very wicked sense. The video of the savagery spread across the dark corners of the internet, where CJNG often showcased their brutality, and for those who stumbled upon the footage, the sight was unforgettable. A man was transformed into a symbol of suffering and humiliation, and that symbol would unfortunately outlast his legacy. The bowl incident. Panic surged through the city as word spread of the grisly discovery made inside of the bag. In Los Mochis, police chased down reports of red-stained sacks dumped.
But you see, the problem with this is what I'm saying, bro. Living in such cities or in such countries, oh my god, I don't know. Even going on a vacation place like that. But you see, the problem is you might even not have an idea, and then you go there, and then you get caught up in between the war, and then you end up like them.
All over the town. Each one revealed another part of a human body, like some sort of sick, twisted treasure hunt. Inside one bag was a torso, in another bag were severed limbs. But the true horror that shocked the city came from a janitor cleaning the front of a city hall. While doing his job, he stumbled across a sports bag, but when he went to pick it up, a soccer ball bounced out of it. As it rolled over, the ball revealed that it was stitched with human skin. A man's face was pulled tight over the leather with its lips sewn shut. And a note beside it read, "Happy New Year, because this will be your last." In early January 2010, a 36-year-old man named...
Hey yo, now this is weird. This is wild. Bro, imagine your face, because they'll skin you while you're still alive. So they pull away your face. Damn.
Hugo Hernandez had mistakenly crossed into Sinaloa cartel territory. While they were in the midst of one of the bloodiest cartel wars in history against the Juarez, they immediately abducted the man, tied him to a chair, brought out a chainsaw, and well, the rest was history. This is just one of the hundreds of thousands of civilian casualties in this non-stop war.
Sinaloa cartel is the boss was goddamn. What's his name? Damn. What's the name of this guy? Forgotten.
The violence is so bad that reporters and journalists stopped reporting on it because they too were brutally...
Now we are going to viewer beware.
The cameras begin rolling, and then the footage adjusts. The scene is set on a man bound with his hands and legs tied by extension cords. As the camera focuses more, it becomes clear that the man is most certainly not alive. His face is missing, and so are his hands and eyes. However, in sheer impossibility, the man begins moving violently. The camera...
Goddamn. At this point, man, having to endure that pain, and then you lose your conscience, and then you wake up, and then you're still alive, and you're like, damn, the pain is still there. You can't even see anything because they have plucked out your eyes. Damn, this is painful.
Slightly pans over to the side, and there it becomes apparent that these cartel members hooked the man up to a substance to pump his adrenaline and keep him wide awake and aware.
That's brutal. Brutal.
Because of this, it is impossible for the man to pass out. And that's when it starts. The cartel members pull out a knife and stick a metal pole in the man's mouth in an effort to silence him. What happens next is simply just too horrific to mention on YouTube, so out of respect for this man's life and to protect your mental security, I'll skip over it. All you need to know...
Bro, how bad was it?
...is that they began playing a game with the man's throat while pumping him with substances to keep him alive. The best thing I can compare this to is if you were to undergo surgery and one of the operating doctors forgot to give you anesthesia, which, by the way, is just a medical treatment that...
Bro, I remember going once I dislocated my shoulder. had to be put to sleep. The pain was, oof. Now imagine having to be decapitated everyone, then you're still alive.
That typically makes you unconscious and unaware during painful surgeries. Normally in a case like this, you'd shoot up in extreme pain, but since you're restrained, the agony would just cause you to pass out on the operating table. Now imagine if the doctors were also injecting you with some type of liquid that prevented you from passing out and kept you wide awake. Watch what they were doing to your body in complete horror. That's pretty much what happened, and after the men were done, the video would finally end. But shortly afterward, another video in the same room would surface. In it, you can see the same men playing soccer with the victim's head, kicking it back and forth.
Bro, and they still do this, and then, like, they have normalized themselves to doing so.
Each other in efforts to catch it. What makes this incident as horrific as it is, isn't the sheer brutality of their actions. When the men were carrying out this atrocity, it's heavily noted that they would be talking to each other, calm and casually, as if it were another Tuesday morning at their shift. All the meanwhile, a popular 80s hit...
How do they manage to do this? Like, how? How? Bro, these people are brutal, man. This is a brutal way to end your life. Or a brutal way to end someone's life, actually, if you ask me. Damn, it's painful. Really, really painful.
Would play in the background, striking a mind-boggling contrast between their gruesome acts and the fun and enjoyable disco song. The song is called Funky Town by Lips Incorporated, and chances are you've probably already heard this song countless times when you were young. When I was a child, this was a song they played for me at Chuck E. Cheese and at school festivals. And now, my memories of this fun and stupid disco song are tainted by the actions of the wicked. The warmth, security, and luxuries we have today were not built on the morals of the evil. They're built by those who dare to be inspirational instead of evil. They're built by those who sacrifice themselves to protect their country. They're built by good men and women who figured out that love is stronger than wickedness. Be a good person to the world, your neighbors, and most importantly, to yourself. And as usual, don't search any of these videos up. Be safe and have a happy day, lads.
Okay. Love this guy. Talking hard. Has amazing videos. Has amazing animations. But bro, that was wild if you ask me. It was a very wild thing. Most brutal deaths ever. I was trying to remember this cartel's member name. The Kingpin. Damn. Damn. I've forgotten his name. Please subscribe to the channel. Adios.